So, back to a normal school working day, shall we say. No escape in the office today. It was close. There was the potential that the internet went down again, but not long enough. So, anyway, so going to finish going through the Citadel deck and just work our way through the rest of the cards. So I think we're about halfway there anyway. So what we'll do is actually, I'm going to take those down and put those there. And then what we can do is just keep going and see where we come out with. So, are we ready? Let us begin. So the next card we have is the Sailor. The Sailor card says, new influences, wanderlust. So I would say with this, it's possible that it's going to be to do with travel, new ventures, not always plain sailing. It's about the adventure as well, so maybe taking a chance and heading for places new. Right. Okay, we have the Gambler, loss, risks. So again, it could be that what's planned to happen at the moment may not be the best move. It would depend on what other cards come out with this. Obviously this one, to me, because of the words, just imply that there would be a big gamble and not in the interest of the person. It may well be, again, play your cards close to your chest and just watch what you're prepared to invest or gamble with. Okay. I'm beginning to think I've got these upside down. Upside down, upside down. Let's do it that way. That's better. Okay. Oop, there we go. The pathless. Difficult decisions, lack of direction. So, as it says, if someone's looking for clarity on a path and this card was to come up, it could possibly indicate that now's not the right time, that they need to find some guidance and more direction, because they need to be able to facilitate a better outcome than what could possibly happen at this time. Oh, the cartographer. It's been a long day. A crossroads exploration. So again, the cartography is the study of maps. It's indicating again that there could be the possibility of a new direction, looking to a new continent or location to move to, that there is a very large decision to be made, but again it will be taken with care and not without risking everything. Okay. The Masquerade, lovely word that. No idea. Hide in your true self. Projection. So again, I would say that this is asking, is someone being true to themselves, or what they really want to present, and what are they presenting? Do they need to look at what they are projecting out, and maybe just to remove the makeup and see within as to what is really going on? Oh, there we go. The Witch experimentation, rebellion. So again, this it could show an interest in the occult. It could also indicate that they need to experiment with what they're doing, or like if you are a witch, you practice spells, but you need to make sure that the intention and the goals and the method is correct. But also it could be that it's time to rebel against the norm. Maybe try a different way of doing something as a form of rebellion. Okay, so we then have the musician, inspiration and gratitude. So again, it could be that the person has a love of music. It could be that they're composing something in life that brings them joy. That it could be a celebration of some sort. It could be also that they have found a muse that will help them in their direction. I'm going to try something for a second. This may or may not work. I'll move up there. Might have to rearrange slightly. As usual, I've got too much. Right, let's just see if this works better. Right, move you. Oh, move you too. There we go. How's that? Kind of working. A little bit too shiny there. Hold on. Bear with us. Oh, don't fall out. Right. I was hoping it was going to show the cards better. There we go. It's a little bit too bright, to be honest. Right, okay. Bright idea didn't quite work, so anyway. It's a very sweltering day. Okay, so the next card, which actually goes quite well with the musician card, is the Muse. Generosity, naivety. So it could be that someone has found someone who is going to be instrumental in their success. It could be that they are going to be the muse to someone. It could also be warning that they need to be slightly guarded as to this new person coming in, whether it could be that there could be a slight bit of obsession involved. We then got the enchanter. So deception, trickery. So again, I mean, if this came out with the muse, it could be that this is indicating that whoever the muse is, or the person who wants the muse, might be using deception or trickery to gauge or obtain what they want, and it may not all be that what they've seen. Also, if you're going for a job, or if you're having trouble at work, it might indicate that you have certain people trying to play games. Sounds familiar. Right. Okay, the twins. Self-protection and dual natures. Now, to be honest, this also could be, from an astrological point of view, it could also recognise someone being a Gemini, obviously the sign of the twins. It could indicate that, as it says, dual nature, it could be that someone is can flip sides. In a moment they have switch personality, switch allegiance. It could indicate that there are twins coming along, but we will just decide that when it comes to actually doing a reading. So the adventurer is responsibility and expectations. So again, with the volcano in the middle, it's also indicating that when you go off on an adventure, when you go travelling, there's always an element of risk. Your expectations of how the trip may turn out or what you're going to find mightn't live up to the expectations. Again, it could be that if it comes out with cards that indicate travel success, it could be an indication that your travels are going to be worthwhile and be successful. Right, I'm trying to get as many on here as possible because I'm going to run out of room. So we've got the fate, accepting help and guidance. So possibly, again, it could be if the question was about how in terms of kind of like self-development, or they're stuck in a role or they're stuck in a situation they can't see. It could indicate that they need to look for help from someone else. And again, it's possible that a card could come out that could indicate someone to them that would be of help. It also, to me, is a bit of a cutting cords card. Again, it's one that I think could resonate quite well with the weaver and the tailor because of the use of thread in here. But what I see as well from this is with the image, it's obviously there's so many threads in place that it may be blocking the person from actually seeing the right way or how to do it, and that's why they would need to find help or guidance within the situation. Okay. Ooh. I'm quite sure about that one. So, the forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. Not exactly the nicest card I've seen in the deck. It could indicate a regret from the past, that the time for a situation has passed. Could even be with the fear of failure, that obviously they need to maybe look inwards to themselves before they move forward on a project, that to really look at what they fear. Because if you are going to undertake something new, there's always a possibility that something may go wrong. So again, it might be that this will indicate to people that they need to really evaluate if the move forward is going to be beneficial, or will it be a case that they'll miss an opportunity if they do that. Right. So we have the king. Control, reversal of fortune. Again, king, you could say it's going to be a masculine card. If it was a relationship read, it could indicate that there's a male presence coming to them. It could show that they won't have control in the situation, or it could indicate that the person themselves will be able to control the situation and change the outcome to favour them, depending on which cards, again, it may come out with. Right. So, the divine timing evaluation. So again, it's indicating that obviously everything takes time. As it is, it's the seed growing into a sapling, and then hopefully that will turn into something bigger, like the botanist card. That it will indicate that it is a good time to start a new project, that the prospects are good. It could also mean just to make sure you have taken into consideration everything, but if you have, then the prospects are that you will start something beneficial. So then to the king we've got the queen, so determination and sacrifice. So again, if it was a relationship, it could be if someone was asking about a potential romantic partnership, it could indicate a female coming into the position. It could indicate strong female energy around them. Again, depending on the question, where it says sacrifice, it might be that there is a choice to be made where someone might have to sacrifice something to get the progression that they want. Right, so, okay, I think we've got all of them up there. Now we're just going to have to try and shift some of them along here. Right, let's just do this for a sec. Oh, jumpy cards or jumpy hands, one or the other. Right, okay. So, the walker, the unknown, a journey. So again, I would say this is probably similar to the adventurer, but with the imagery being a lot calmer, with the sun rising, with birds, it's indicating that the journey may be more stable and more positive for that person. Again, if it came out about a new role, it could be that at the moment there might be a way to go, but the opportunity could be good. The hair. Oh, for God's sake. Sometimes I should quit while I'm ahead, but I'm not going to. I'm going to continue. I'm determined. The air. Unseen potential, hesitation. So again, the thing with the heir to the throne is obviously at this precise moment in time they are kind of like the apprentice. They are learning the disciplines and the procedures that are needed. It might be that the role, the step up is so great that there will be a little bit of hesitation because it might be a giant leap from what you're doing at the moment. It could also possibly be if you were doing a reading on inheritance, it could be that there is an inheritance coming. I think it's all, in all, I would say is possibly a very positive card to get. Oh, the warrior. Always love a warrior card, especially with a shield on it. It's quite Viking, that one, actually. So, the warrior, perfectionism and burnout. So, the problem with the warrior is always, again, it's a bit like the sentinel. The warrior is the fighter, the one that is going to battle through, the one that has to win the battle. They have to be the last one standing. So they will have practiced. It's a card of, you're practiced, you're skilled, but also it could be that you've tried to battle too many times and that at this time you need to take a break and step back, because obviously if you burn out, you will not be able to defend or fight for what you want. Ooh, the puppeteer. Explanations, apologies. It's actually quite an interesting card because I look at that and I just think of manipulation. So is it a case of you have someone who needs to explain their motives? Is it a case that you have manipulated someone and that is why you need to apologise? Overall, I wouldn't say it's that great a card. It might even indicate that if you're working on something, you might be able to manipulate the situation to your benefit. The orator, communication and confidence. So it could be that you are going to find a role where you're going to be a good communicator, that you're going to bring the confidence and abilities needed for a particular role. It could also indicate that as a person it's time for you to speak up and take a stand, and to also honour your own confidence. So the guide, inheritance and correction. So again, I would say with this one, if it was a money reading, if it was to do with an inheritance, obviously it could actually indicate that there's an inheritance coming. It could also indicate, if there's a correction, that something isn't quite what it seems. I would say as well that it may be also saying that need to get a bit of guidance, and again it would probably depend on what other cards come out. Right, the poet, relationships and vulnerability. Again, I would say if it was to do a relationship, it's about finding the poetic balance between the two. Also, poets are they're in touch with their emotions and their words, and it could indicate that whoever it would be would need to be showing more vulnerability in a relationship, or be open to showing their vulnerability to actually rebuild or further that. The storyteller, viewpoints and control. Now again, having a look at it, I would say that there is a bit of manipulation in it, in the fact that obviously the storyteller can weave whatever they want. So it may well be that there is someone who is not giving the true version of events and might be using that to control and coerce. I would say it's a card, again, depends on what it comes out with. It could be indicating that the person who is getting the reading needs to establish control and put their viewpoints across. So we got the runaway, secrets, running from problems. So it could be that the person needs to reevaluate and look inwards again as to who they are. Might also indicate about whether there's things that they need to face. And if it comes out with another card, it could be indicating that if they face it, it could result in a certain beneficial move forward for them. You'll be glad to know, I think we've got, how many? About 8 cards to go. So we'll crack on. So the Smith, which resonates quite a lot with me because I actually did metalwork at college. Overthinking, taking action. The thing with blacksmithing is that you have to move fast. You have to be precise. Once you heat the metal up, you have a certain length of time to actually manipulate that into whatever you want it to be. If you get it wrong, it then becomes very difficult to actually resolve the issue. So again, if you overthink things, that's where things could go wrong. It could also indicate that now is the time to put plans into action and make sure that the plans are correct and that they're well thought through. The wise one. There we go. Okay. So, tradition and order. So again, it could indicate that the person having the reading might need to find someone with wisdom and knowledge and years of experience, that they need to maybe take a step back and think of older ways of doing things. It could also be to do with traditions within the family that might need to be honoured. The assassin card, look at that. Okay, ruthlessness and conviction. So again, it could be, this to me, it could be a nasty card. It could also be quite positive because it depends on who it actually represents. If it represents the person who's asked the reading and it's come up as being them, then I would say that they need to fixate and plan their goals and stick with it and see things through. If it's a situation where they're in a battle or they're up against someone, it could be that they might need to just watch their back. So we've got the painter. It's actually quite funny. I used to have wallpaper like that. Productivity and creation. So again, with this one, it would be a case of we can design our outcomes. We can design our successes. If we plan, if we focus, if we have our inspiration, then it's a card of things coming to fruition. You start with a blank canvas and you build it up into something that is going to be beautiful and possibly worth the money. The Pilgrim. We'll get that there. Opportunities and growth. So again, it's got the light. So it's, again, if this was in relation to a change of role, I would probably say that obviously it's indicating that the opportunities are there, that they might have to do a bit of growth to actually grow into the role, to be allow the path to be illuminated, and I would say it'd be quite a positive card to come out. The Merchant. So self-worth and trade. So again, with this as well, because it's got the scales on it, I think it's indicating that people need to find a certain balance. So if someone was indicating that they were going to have to take a role and it meant a lot of travel, or if they had to work away from home, it's finding whether that really is going to balance with what they want outside of work. by the look of it, the balance is pretty good. So, I mean, again, it could indicate a pay rise. It could indicate, as I said, a change of job. It looks quite a positive card in all respects. And then the final one is the aspirant. Ambition, diligence, setbacks. So again, I would say with this, it's indicating to me that whatever is on the cards, quite literally, it may well be that whatever the ambition is, that there is going to be hard work and the possibility that it may not go according to plan. And again, I think it would indicate to me that obviously you may have the ambition, you may have the diligence, but it may not work out at this time. So that is a complete look. Let's see, let's find the box again. The Citadel Oracle deck. So, and as I said, it's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful deck of cards. And I would say, so far, since I've started using it in readings, it's actually been very accurate. Again, it depends on the combinations. There are a couple of cards that are quite evidently work together. And then the rest of them, I think, when you pull them out and they're with another card, the definition will become clearer for you. So, that is it for this evening. It's extremely hot at the moment. I've got all my fans on and it looks like it's getting a bit overcast, so it might knock it down a bit and make it a bit cooler for the evening. Have a lovely night, and what I will be doing is possibly I'm going to try and get the archetypes, the archetypal reading sorted out so that I can go through with you in detail. As again, I think that's going to take a little while longer. If it does, then I will just come on and do general reads, or if anyone does have a situation or wants a particular read, again, please let me know. I'm only too happy to read for you. Thank you.